And I've talked to people and said, look, they state their belief in the communion of the saints, and these people don't know what it is. I said, okay, well, let's look it up on the internet together. Okay, communion of the saints. What does that mean? And I told you the seminary across the street from where I pastored. I looked the seminary up, and sure enough, it had its own webpage. And they had a lady theology professor explaining on the webpage, we will teach you 3 phases of ministry: how to minister to the spirits that aren't born yet, how to minister to the living, how to minister to the spirits of the dead. And they said, we give you opportunities to communicate with each of the 3. Okay, yeah. When a person tells you a story like that, I might point out there are 3 possibilities. And she's crazy, and never talked to her. After I became aware of her and what she looked like, I actually saw her out in the yard, and I went over and tried to introduce myself once. She wouldn't talk to me. But they think they're talking to the spirits of those that are not born yet. Well, they're crazy. They're scamming you, or they're talking to demon spirits who've lied to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get to Virginia Murray Mollenkott, who wrote a series of books that she's famous for, justifying homosexuality as being appropriate for homosexuals. Again, I have 7 or 8 of her books. But she wrote Sensuous Spirituality. And in Sensuous Spirituality, this is a consultant on the NIV. Sensuous Spirituality, she talks about when she got set free from the King James Bible, God began to speak to her in an audible voice. Angels began to speak to her in audible voice, and other spirits began to speak to her in audible voice.
Oh my.
There's 3 possible explanations for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And none of them are good. And later in another book, she says it's been her experience that every single transgender person she's ever met, and she describes herself as transgender, every transgender person she ever met was indwelt by gods.
Plural.
Plural. And again, you don't have that many. And a very sad story. She came from a Christian home. She went to Christian school. She graduated from Bob Jones University, bachelor's degree, master's degree, taught at Bob Jones University, left, taught at another Christian school, and then announced that she was a lesbian and divorced her husband and went into all this. But in her last book, she wrote about having been having a sexual relationship when she was in high school with one of her Christian school, a female Christian school teacher. Said she never told the story before because she didn't want to get this person in trouble, but the person passed away. And she described what a wonderful experience this was for her, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And behind the attack on the Bible, there's much more than what a lot of people want to face.